Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to another Division 2 video. It's Tuesday, TU 20.1 just dropped. We of course have Danny Weaver, the new textile vendor, coming to the game. And of course I already got that video for you, how to unlock him. So check this out real quick. And of course the vendor reset is here. There are a few more other things to talk about, but I'm not gonna bother you with all the information. We're gonna dive right into the vendor reset, and I will show you everything that I think is worth buying, or else I'll skip it. So without further ado, let's see what the first vendor has to offer us. Starting with the countdown vendor, we can find the new reliable, the Lavoisier, and the backup boomstick, but they're all not really great if you ask me. Maybe the backup boomstick, this already comes with 17% shotgun damage. That's its special, it gets 2% more weapon damage. The Lavoisier could be something if you want to go for that perfect galvanize, or of course that new reliable, because the LMG's got quite a buff. And then you can roll that critical hit damage away for some damage to armor, rate of fire, or even critical hit chance. And there we are at the White House vendor, and I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not really worth going for it. Maybe you wanna pick up this invisible hand, comes with damage to armor, and then of course perfect Allegro. So this is just this little shout out to the invisible hand. The rest is kinda trash. And there we are at the clan vendor. The Fox's Prayers are for sale here. Again, of course, with maxed out damage to target out of cover of 8%, 11% weapon damage, 8.5% status effect. So if you're still looking for these knee pads, or you want to use it on a status effect build to have a little bit more damage to targets out of cover with your weapon, pick it up. And maybe even roll that core attribute to a yellow. Then next to that, maybe you can pick up the Big Show. This is of course one of the newest LMGs added to the game in the last couple of seasons. And this comes with perfect Thunderstrike. Not really the biggest fan of this talent, but it already comes with rate of fire as well. Of course, damage to target out of cover is a core attribute on LMGs, so you could play with this. Rate of fire is very good on LMGs. But that's pretty much it for the clan vendor. Let's jump over. And there we are at the campus, and it's not worth it. Just skip this vendor and let's jump over to the next one and see what they have in store for us. And there we are at the theater. The only thing that is useful is this whisper. As you can see for me as well, my proficiency rank is still 0. So if you pick up 20 of these weapons, your full proficiency rank is all the way out maxed out, and you can start doing your expertise on the weapon, or of course get your expertise a level higher. And that's the only reason why you would go to the theater, because the rest isn't really worth it. So if you have enough in-game money, buy that whisper and donate it to your system. And there we are at the castle, and not really worth traveling for this, but a special shout out to the Picaro's holster. You can pick it up at the castle vendor. It of course always comes with that 15% weapon damage as one of the attributes, but we can also find this in the open world. Don't forget, this is one of the blueprints that was added to the open world blueprint pool, and I will leave the video up on the screen right now if you missed that and how to unlock it. But let's jump over to the DZs and see what they have in store for us this week. Starting with DZ East, and it's not worth it. It's way too expensive to pick it up, so skip this vendor and let's see what DZ South have in store for us. And then for DZ South we can find the 0Fs, but it's not really worth going for if you ask me, so just skip it. The rest of the vendor is way too expensive to buy as well, so let's see what the last vendor has in store for us. And for our last DZ, DZ West, we can find the Virginian with maxed out rifle damage, and of course this is the named rifle that comes with perfect boomerang. It is a lot of fun to play around with, so if you have the credits for it, then definitely pick one up. And I would roll that health damage away for some damage to target out of cover, and you only have to optimize the critical hit damage. But only buy this if you have enough DZ creds for it, or else it isn't really worth it. Just like the rest, just leave it here if you don't want that Virginian. So let's have a look at New York, shall we? And there we are at the first vendor in New York, but it's not worth it. Everything is too low in attributes to pick up, so just skip this vendor and let's see what Roy has in store for us. And there we are at the last vendor with Roy, but it's not worth it. Way too low in attributes again, so overall this full vendor reset isn't really great. Of course, with TU 20.1 we saw the introduction of Danny Weaver. I gave you that link at the start of the video. Definitely check that one out because we can exchange our textiles. And there are so many other additions with TU 20.1. So keep an eye on the channel. I got a lot of content coming out. And if you're still here, make sure to like the video if you like the video or helped you out in any way or form. And of course, if you're new here and you want to be updated about the Division 2, the Division universe and the future Division 3 because it is announced, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you in the next one. PurePrime out.